When COVID-19 first started spreading across Arizona, there was virtually no segment of the community that wasn't in some way affected. Small businesses were no exception. As lockdown and quarantine measures began being put into place, businesses had to quickly adjust to the new normal or face utter catastrophe. The same was true for the people employed by these businesses. One such example is 23-year-old Kennedy Kakou, a technician at a hair removal service called the Waxing Studio, which is located on Campbell and Grant.
You having to wear a mask to work all day, every day, is fun, to say the least. It was just, yeah, you just have to be more careful. Not necessarily with the beauty industry, you have to keep things clean anyway. So in regards to like stuff like that, it wasn't too much different. 'Cause if anywhere, places like that, you're not going to want it to be dirty anyway. And so other than that, just like pretty much wearing masks and just being conscious of like people and like their comfort level, because I've talked to people where they haven't like left their houses in months, and like they're finally just like opening themselves up to like coming and getting like their stuff taken care of and their brows done, like. So it's just like everyone's at like a different level of like comfort when it comes to the pandemic.
Kakou has worked in the beauty industry for several years and had previously worked at another place called European Wax Center. She had joined the waxing studio at the height of the pandemic, where she found herself having to make some adjustments to the way she conducted her work.
Oh, I realized very soon after completing beauty school that I actually don't like doing hair very much. And so I was just looking for something easy, but, just like a starter job like in the industry. And I started working at a nail salon as well as European. And then the nail salon was pretty slow and I didn't really like it as much. So I ended up just dropping that and working full time at European Wax Center. And I actually was pretty good at waxing, and I like talking to people, but for short periods of time. So it's nice.
While Kakou's workplace was forced to implement restrictions to prevent the spread of COVID, her line of work already requires that she maintain a safe, sterile environment.
We just ask that you wear a mask when you come and get waxed. Don't come in if you are feeling under the weather. Yeah, pretty much that. We just keep our workspace clean after every service. That way we prevent the spread of any infectious diseases and things like that. There are standards, and the reason that like not just anybody off the street can do things like this is because you do need to learn about like the infectious diseases to like look out for and things like that, as well as just like so if someone were to like end up bleeding and things like that, there's like blood spill procedures and things like that we have to know in order to be able to safely conduct business without making people sick or causing like damage to people's skin and things like that.
Regarding masks, Kakou has experienced a mix of both benefits and drawbacks.
It gets kind of hard wearing a mask all day, just like, especially because I feel like I have to talk a lot, and so I'm like sucking in my mask and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so exasperated for no reason. I feel like before mask, like I didn't realize how much I like read people's lips like when I speak to them, because I mean sometimes my hearing is so selective and I just don't hear anything. The one thing I like about masks is because some people do tend to smell. It's really nice not being able to hide your facial expressions, especially when it comes to nasty people, because you're just like, what on earth is this?
Despite the pandemic, Kakou has, for the most part, had positive interactions with her clientele, and is beginning to see a lot more of them now that things are opening up.
I don't really feel like necessarily that it's more difficult or easier. I feel like my job is actually really easy, for me at least. So it's just business as usual.